God, if you're real, smite me right now. If you're not, don't. Look at that. The all powerful God can do. What a surprise. Why? Because he doesn't exist.
You are glad that God doesn't strike you down right now. He could strike any of us down if he wants to, but
Oh,
guess what?
please,
He's so
please, I beg
patient.
you, I beg you, I beg you, if you exist, smite me down. I beg it with all my heart.
If he smote you down, where would you spend forever? It wouldn't be heaven, it would be hell. And I don't want that for
But
you.
God will be next to
I
me
don't
in hell because he's a massive.
There will be a time when God will strike you down if you have not put your trust in Jesus that he died for your sin. There will be a time when you face the wrath of God. But God has brought me along your path today, maybe to get you to wake up a little bit and put your trust in Jesus.
His rules don't apply to me as long as he doesn't exist.
That doesn't logically follow. Like if I say I don't believe in the laws of the government and the country that I live in, it doesn't mean those laws don't apply to me. They still do, and so I'll still be held accountable for what I do wrong.
If he exists, sure, but he doesn't, so I'm good.
You assume he doesn't exist, but do you have a reason to say
No,
that?
I know. You're assuming he's living, he's alive,
How do you know he doesn't?
because there's no proof.
That's not evidence he doesn't. I don't have any proof in front of me right now that you own a car, but that is not therefore evidence that you don't own a car. So, in the same way, just because you may not find evidence of God is not evidence that God is not there, because absence of evidence is not evidence of absence.
That is correct, and that is also why God doesn't exist. Because we think God exists because we don't know how we got created.
If you
But
agree
like we
with
said,
that,
absence of evidence doesn't prove anything. Thank you a
so
lot for
then
that.
why then do you say that God is not there if you don't have any evidence against his existence?
Because we don't have any evidence in the other direction either.
Did you listen to what I said? I think we can actually claim God because there's numerous
No, you
pieces of
can't.
evidence for
You
God's
can't.
existence.
You're
But
actually not
it
stupid.
doesn't sound like
But
it doesn't sound like you're actually open and interested in evidence.
because there is none.
I actually don't think you want to be convinced, which is why you're so angry and argumentative against this. You're not like, oh, that's a nice idea. Let me look into the evidence. Let me look
So I
into this
should be
further.
like a sheep and say, yes, yes, of course you're real. No, I have my mind, like you said.
Have you read many books that are set out to prove the existence of God?
No, why would I?
There you go. You're not looking for evidence. You just don't want there to be a God. If you really sincerely were looking for evidence for God, you would have read some of these books that are written to prove God's existence. You haven't bothered. You don't want to believe there's one. You love your sin. That's what's holding you back.